everybody, today I'm in Wadmalaw Island, South Carolina, and it is the home of the Charleston Tea Garden, previously known as the Charleston Tea Plantation. It is the only tea that is grown and I think produced or whatever here in the United States of America. Now in South Carolina we do have another tea place that you can visit. Now it's the Table Rock Tea Company, and that is up there in Pickens, South Carolina. So I have not been there yet, so this is my experience with tea in South Carolina. But anyway, we're going to go around and see all the tea plants and see what we can see and drink some tea because I like some tea. And that's about it for this one. But other than that, hope you enjoy what you see, and I shall see you again.
Arrive.
So even though that looks like hedge bushes out there, that is tea growing right here in South Carolina. This is the home of American Classic Tea. It was originally known as the Charleston Tea Plantation. Now it is known as the Charleston Tea Garden. Here in the South, we love our tea. So that is just a tea lover's dream out there. You gonna try any hot tea? It's too hot for hot tea today. peach tea. You got the sweet tea?
This is sweet.
That's a lot of tea.
I wonder how much the tea they eat is for that.
So this is the history of the Charleston Tea Plantation. It says the first confirmed cultivation of tea in the U.S. occurred when French botanist Andre Michaud brought the plants to Middleton, Barony on the Ashley River between 1799 and 1802. Large-scale production, however, was not attempted. Beginning in 1880, the U.S. Congress subsidized renewed cultivation efforts. The Pinehurst Plantation in Somerville was the most successful of these attempts. Now we have to go to the other side so we can read the rest. And so it says in 1963, cuttings from Pinehurst Plantation were transferred to 127 acres on Wadmalaw Island, land that is now the Charleston Tea Plantation. Because the Pinehurst plant had grown wild and cross-pollinated for decades prior to transfer, they are now considered South Carolina hybrids. Charleston Tea Plantation remains the only site of large-scale commercial tea production in the U.S. So that's the oak trees right there. The trolley was under it a while ago, so hopefully I can wait it out till it comes back again. So this over here shows that this is America's only tea garden. And it says next closest tea plantations. China is 7,320 miles away. Kenya is 7,816 miles away. Indonesia is 10,149 miles away. India is 7,934 miles away. Sri Lanka is 9,395 miles away. Argentina is 4,823 miles away, and Turkey is 5,628 miles away. So this over here is the tea harvester, and I believe in the video it said that it's called the Green Giant. It was specially designed for them here. And it goes along and just clips all the tea off the tops of the tea plants out there. And over here is the world's largest sweet tea. And a few years ago, they actually set the record for the most ever. And I think it might have been put in that container right there, actually. And that was in Summerville, South Carolina. So right there is the Guinness World Records symbol saying that it was officially amazing. And you got Flower Town in the Pines, Summerville, South Carolina. I actually remember whenever they did that a few years ago. And this tells right here how they made it. It's on the side of the jug or glass, whatever you want to call it. It was 1,425 gallons of sweet tea made with 3,000 pounds of ice, 1,600 pounds of Dixie crystal sugar, and 120 pounds of Charleston Tea Plantation tea. So that's a lot of tea. I don't know if that could last me my lifetime or not, because I do like to drink some sweet tea. I like sweet tea and Diet Pepsi and Diet Mountain Dew. That's what I like. But I can drink you under the table with some sweet tea if it's good and southern made. Okay, so I'm gonna point out the fact again. I am about 5 feet 10 inches tall, and just look how large this is compared to me. So that is a lot of tea. I think that might would possibly last me my lifetime, or at least half my lifetime, the way I drink it. But some good stuff. I don't know if they got tea plants in here or not. I don't think so. But it says, in order to increase capacity and utilization of any tea factory in the world, tradition relies on expanding the gross acreage in production. We have approximately 320 varieties of Camellia sinensis, better known as tea plants. New plantings begins with propagation. We have hand selected our best quality plants to be used for new acreage by taking cuttings from these plants. This process is referred to as cloning. Hordes of technical information and advancements have taken place in asexual propagation within the United States. We strive to harness these advancements and incorporate them in producing the best plant material possible for field production. The plants in our fields are direct descendants of Dr. Shepherd's tea operations in Summerville, South Carolina, dating back to 1888. Over 100 years of braving the humid summers, harsh hurricanes, and irregular southern winters have produced some of the strongest known clones in the world. The process begins in our modest yet efficient nursery operation. Whipwood is harvested from previously selected plants which have been allowed to grow taller in order to provide these cuttings. A whip normally yields 2 to 3 excellent cuttings. These cuttings can be taken mid-May through late June. Our cuttings are approximately 8 inches in length with at least 3 leaf nodes. The wood is typically a reddish-brown color, and the girth is usually the size of a pencil. Once the cuttings are made, they are prepped for rooting hormones. A small wound is made into the base to encourage callus formation. So then root formation will develop from the new callus at the basal end or from vascular meristems located within the cambium layer of the wood. Our goal is to encourage the most rooting to arise from the cambium layer. Callus roots tend to be weaker and easily to break off the plant. And then after 8 to 16 weeks of rooting, the plants are ready to be acclimated to the environment. This involves introducing them slowly from the greenhouse to the outside conditions. This process will take approximately 2 months. At this time, the plants are ready for the field. So that's your tea history for today. So it looks like the trolley might be on its way. Maybe.
Or heard on our tour. And please tell your friends about us and come back soon.
So you might as well get your free tea while you're in there, and why not try all the different flavors they have. It's pretty good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the video for the Charleston Tea Garden. And while we were in there, got our free samples of tea. So while we were in there, you probably saw briefly, Mom had the sweet tea, I had the peach tea. So now I have got raspberry tea and mint tea. So let me see which one this is. That's the raspberry. That one's actually pretty good. They don't exactly put southern type sugar in it, apparently. Or not like the restaurants around here do. But it is good. I do like the raspberry. The peach is my favorite though. And this one is obviously the mint. It's like drinking Christmas in your mouth. So if you need a good Christmas tea, that is it. And also, I was in there, picked up these beanie wafers. And the first place I ever had these at was actually here back whenever I was probably 12 or 13 maybe, because they used to only open it on certain Saturdays out the year before they built it into what it is now. So this was like the first place I ever got these things from. But these are made by Old Colony Bakery, and they are located in Charleston, South Carolina. So what's better to have with tea than a beanie wafer? Oh well, it's as good as it's ever been. Now, while I do not eat restaurant food on camera, I will snack on camera. And plus, they're really good. So the history of the beanie wafer is the beanie seed wafer existed in the Low Country since colonial times. Beanie, which is the Bantu word for sesame, was brought from East Africa and planted extensively throughout the South. Many Low Country recipes call for a tasty toasted beanie seed, but none so loved as the beanie wafer, which is a Charleston favorite. And I have to highly suggest these if you're in the area. Another thing I got was key lime cookies. They are also made by the Old Colony Bakery in historic Charleston, South Carolina. I'll go try them too. Now these are a bit pricey, but I don't mind supporting locals. Those are good too, but I think I actually like the beanie better. So anyway, here is the information about the tea. And this just tells you how to make tea. But it says, is there a difference in the amount of caffeine in black and green tea? And it says the average milligrams of caffeine per tea bag. Coffee is 100 to 120 milligrams. Black tea is 30 to 60 milligrams, and green tea is 25 to 50 milligrams. Typically, green tea has less tea per bag, therefore less caffeine. Although being a natural occurring part of the plant, the caffeine levels vary based on climate and soil content. Now, another interesting fact that's on the factory tour that I did not show because, you know, I didn't want to video everything in there. The black tea stays in the withering process, right, for 50 minutes. The oolong tea stays on for 15 minutes, and the green tea does not stay on at all. And tea is made up of, what is it? 20% solid and 80% liquid off on the bush?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what they have to do, they have to go in and they just have to cut it to get it down so it'll fit in those tea bags. Because as you can see, this is how the tea looks, and you also saw the tea fields at the beginning of the video. So this says, have you ever seen a tea bush? It's truly a miracle of nature. Here at Charleston Tea Garden, America's tea garden, there are hundreds of thousands of tea bushes in our fields. They stretch almost as far as your eyes can see. Come to historic Wadmalaw Island. Wadmalaw. I always pronounce it Wadmalaw. So, pardon the Google, I was pronouncing it wrong, so I'm trying to pronounce it as Wadmalaw Island. And anyway, it says, observe hundreds of thousands of tea plants in the fields as you stroll under the grand oaks. Come see our one-of-a-kind tea harvester in action. Its job is to collect the tiny new tea leaves that pop up on our tea bushes all summer long. Take a factory tour. Walk along the gallery looking out onto the production floor. You'll see all the equipment it takes to make tea, while 3 large TV screens describe the entire process. And I do wish that it would have been going on today, because that would have been something to see. However,
It would.
there was no production going on today, so we did not have that. Sign up for the trolley tour. We personally have never done that, but obviously a lot of people do.
Well,
It says it's a fun ride through the tea fields and stops at our greenhouse, where you can view rows and rows of tiny tea plants just getting started in life. And that might be interesting. That might be something we need to do one day.
The man that was in that group with us on that tour, he's talked to me out there on the outside, and he asked me, he said, have you ever went on that tour? I told him no. He told me, he said, you need to do it one time in your lifetime, because it shows the tea, small plants at the back of it.
It's strong stuff, but it's strong because it's straight out the field. And it says, enjoy our complimentary all-you-can-taste tea bar. Hot or ice, we're serving several of the wonderful teas we make here at the garden. And it says, quiet and secluded Wadmalaw Island is in the heart of South Carolina's low country. It is home to America's true treasures, Charleston Tea Garden. Relax in one of our many porch rockers as you admire the beautiful old oaks and soak in the quiet. It's a special moment. And of course, you want to take a picture with Waddy. He is the frog mascot. However, he does have a broken leg, so they said it will hurt. But all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed today's visit once again. So who knows, we might come back one day and actually do the trolley tour. That would be something fun to do.
Well, I wish they had that showing the manufacturer,
Yeah, that
not
would've been cool.
not only on the film, but to
We
see
have seen that before
Yeah.
in person, and that is really something
Yes,
cool to see.
We've been through 2 or 3 times or more.
I really don't know why it's not going today, unless they didn't have any tea to
I
harvest
don't think they
today.
had none to harvest.
But usually in the summertime, you can catch it almost anytime you go in there.
We also had labels on all the doors, they needed help.
They do. They do. If I lived in Charleston, I might come and work here part-time, but then if I do that, then I can't travel. So I should just keep on doing what I do. Work my real job, and then do this on my days off. Because then if I don't do that, I can't bring the videos to you. So, but I do have vacations coming up. Thank God for that. Because I am ready to hit the road. See all my favorite towns, my favorite states. Even though I do love South Carolina the most. But anyway, I think that's gonna wrap it up. You ready to go?
Yep.
So what you gonna say?
Subscribe.
What
It's
else?
free.
Yes. So if you ever do come to Charleston Tea Plantation, this is the mint tea. This is the raspberry tea. Peach
They have
tea is my
sweet
favorite.
tea. They have even hot tea.
They have unsweet tea.
Yeah, they have unsweet tea too. But their sweet tea tastes unsweet.
Yeah, their sweet tea is different than sweet tea. But I think it's because it is straight out the field. This never goes to the grocery store. It's not sitting on a shelf. So this is about as fresh as you can get it. So, hope you enjoyed this video. We shall go somewhere else another day. But until then, enjoy the videos. We'll see you in the future.
And drink your tea.
Drink your tea and eat your wafers. So, until next time, bye.
Bye.